guys, welcome to ¿cómo se llama?
High level show.
Hi guys, it's been so much time that I don't remember the name of the show. Hi guys, welcome to High Level Shot. My name is Yvette.
My name is Tanya.
And today we're gonna comment Sex and the City.
Is Sex in the City?
It's and the City.
Okay.
Sex and the City. Can you catch up? Thank you.
Okay, I think this is like this thing, what do they call it? The Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect.
Because a lot of people think the same thing I do, I think.
Sex in the City. But no, it's
It
Sex
sounds-
and the City.
it
It doesn't sound great, but
Yeah.
as whoever created the show,
Yeah.
that lost in life.
Darren Star. That's who created the show. Okay, so Sex in the City is a very
New York.
New York end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s show. It has a lot of controversial takes
Yeah.
that we want to talk about, but also it pioneers a little bit
Mm-hmm.
with this with the approach to certain topics of what we're talking about.
So yeah, okay. Season 1 is more about they were trying to find the formula.
Yes,
the
it's like an
workers.
introduction.
Yeah, to what Sex and
The city
the City.
actually was.
Yes.
I feel like the third season is really settled.
Yes.
The formula, the character arcs. You already get a feeling of each character. You have your favorites if you have one. I've always liked Charlotte.
I like her as well.
I don't know. There's something. Her character is like okay. I really like Samantha and Charlotte because Carrie and Miranda are insufferable. Honestly,
Yeah. Carrie, she doesn't know what she wants.
Carrie needs.
She's a mess in season 2, specifically. Like
Jesus Christ! Like, can you make your mind like?
she starts with dating. What is the name of the man?
Which one?
The blonde one.
Bon Jovi?
No, Bon Jovi was just one night.
Aiden.
Aiden.
Aiden is not blonde.
He's blonde.
Aiden, el del perro,
Sí.
ese hombre el rubio.
Sí, para mí ese es hombre
No,
rubio.
Aiden is not blonde.
Deja que lo busque.
Y ver.
Sex
Aiden.
and the City. Aiden.
¿Qué nacer es?
Well, no blonde man. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, with the ¿cómo se dice? Golden Retriever boyfriend,
Yeah.
and she didn't know she wants him. She was more with him because she was like, oh, he's the nice guy.
Yeah, he's the
But
one
she-
I'm supposed to be with.
Today.
He brings me calm. He's comfortable. Like, she even says that in an episode. She's like, Aiden is home. He's comfortable. But she
doesn't love him. She doesn't want him. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
She doesn't really love him. So it's just,
And he didn't actually love her.
I don't think they love each other. I think
I don't
they love the idea of each other.
And they weren't getting to know each other. Like they didn't
Exactly.
really.
They kind of jumped into the relationship,
Yeah.
basically. But that's what Carrie does, because she jumped into a relationship with Big too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there was no room for
Getting to know
growth.
each other, and that is what he wanted.
Okay, I think we're jumping hoops. Oh no, it's fine. We just going.
What hopes?
I don't know, because we were talking about. No, yes, you're right. Okay, so
Because he wanted to take the thing slowly, not having sex in the first day with her, and getting to know each other. But she was like,
yes, because it's so confusing. Because in that episode, yes, because she talks with the friends, and Samantha says, "Oh, you want to be careful because if you don't have sex with him within a certain amount of time." Then you will become friends, and now she's panicking, and she only had knew him for a week. That is
crazy.
Insane. I was like, girl, what are you talking about? At first, I was like, maybe they have been seeing each other for a few months or something. A week.
So yeah. After that, she cheated on him with Big,
Yeah, that is so embarrassing.
and Big was married with.
Running through the streets of New York, hotel from hotel and hotels. A man even thought she was a prostitute. And she was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like,
She was like, I can't do this anymore, but she come
she
back
kept-
and continue
yeah,
doing it until she get caught.
And this is the thing about Carrie, what we were saying. She has an idea of, and she actually has this column where she is, what's the word, advising women on relationships. But she herself doesn't really
No shit.
she don't know shit.
She doesn't know.
And she's very judgmental. She's very...
She even have in an episode that she does a class to women. And they're telling her, like, you are 35, you're not married, what are you teaching us? And you don't have skills, what are you teaching us?
Like, look, I don't think you have to have your life completely
together to give advice.
Exactly, completely together to advise people. But
you can have experience used for dating,
exactly.
But she doesn't have that.
She's just as lost as the people that is reading what she's writing. So how can she actually advise somebody on relationships? That is what confuses me. Like, on relationships or sex, like, it was just such a miss. The fact that her character is a columnist. I feel like if she were anything else but that, it would make sense. But for Carrie to hold that authority is weird for me. But, I mean, for the sake of the show and the chicness and the New York vibe, I get it. Because
she's famous, but at the same time, she's not really famous.
Like, exactly. She's like, she's, like I said, an authority figure as a writer, and she has like a niche, but...
And then let's jump to the other characters, the pelirroja one. Miranda. Her relationship is a mess, completely. And the worst is that it's not her fault. Or most of what happened to her is not her fault.
I feel like Miranda and actually everything we're talking about right now reduces to the male gaze and how all of the friends are victim of it. They are participants in the male gaze constantly. Because Miranda, she's a lawyer, she's very successful, she's very comfortable in that sense, like she's fulfilled with her career. But then when it comes to romance, she feels as confused as the rest. She
even have she has a high standard job. She's successful.
Yes, but when it comes to relationships, she doesn't really have a standard. Really, no. It's like it's kind of random because when she starts dating, what's his name? Steve. Yeah. Steve. It's just it doesn't make sense. He practically becomes her child, and she's constantly saying she wants something from Steve that Steve cannot give her.
But this Steve,
because he's not
especially that. In the at the start of the relationship, he seemed to have conscience. He left her because he say she was too much for him. But when he comes back, because he's the one that comes back to the relationship, and they started to have actually a relationship. He started like a kid. And he started like he doesn't have any conscience of what he's doing and saying that he wants kids.
Exactly.
And saying that the other one is childish because she's been too negative, but he's not collaborating in the relationship, in the house.
The relationship had no foundation at all. It was just like they practically became roommates at some point, and then randomly he's like, I want to have kids, when he sees that the relationship is not working. So for him,
a kid is gonna make it
everything.
Work.
Everything will be alright. So instead of getting a kid, they get a puppy because he just wants to get a puppy. So they get a puppy in replacement of a child, temporarily. Yeah. And then when they get that puppy, who is taking care of the puppy? Her.
Miranda.
So the thing is, this is the thing. I think it talks about both of them in the sense that when you want to be in a relationship, you have to have very clear what are you going to accept, what are you not going to accept from that relationship. What are your standards, basically?
Yeah.
Because Miranda kind of jumps into it and she kind of gets rolled into it, and then she complains about it. But you have power into this relationship as well. It's not up to.
She starts to fall in love with the idea of having a monotonia or having a routine.
Yes.
Because she's like
a very structured person.
Yes. Because she started like, oh, I like to go home, take care of him, whatever. And then and she realized that it's not enough. It's actually what she wants.
Yeah, it's not actually what she wants.
But
she never tries actively to get out of that until a certain point.
What happened? Why they break up? I don't
because they fight over the puppy because he was sleeping deep in his sleep while the puppy was screaming in the middle of the night. She woke up and she said, "This is not going to work."
Mm-hmm.
So they break up, and she still lets this man sleep in the couch for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then she goes out of her way to say, "You know what? I'm gonna help you find an apartment." And then they go for the apartment. She sees what is the apartment he's looking for, and it's not. It's just not a good place. So she's like, "Oh no, you can stay here. You can get better." And that man thought that was everything he could afford. So this is the thing. She expected something from Steve that Steve didn't expect from himself. Because when she met Steve and he took her to his first the apartment where he was living in a very similar apartment. And she didn't. It was like, if this is not what you want or this is not what you expect from this person,
you should take a note. Kind of initiative and like aspirations.
Exactly.
He was
that was his life. That was what was. He was
comfortable with actually life,
and he didn't have any interest on changing that. But Miranda constantly wanting him to change that. So actually,
Miranda he was kind of insecure for that. That's why he left her the first time. And Miranda is insecure about that in all her relationships.
Yes.
She can have a serious relationship with someone that has the same kind of life for her, and any kind of.
Yeah, she struggles with that a lot, and other than that, I feel like her character doesn't really have much depth.
Yeah.
Beyond that, or maybe all of them don't have much depth, because in the end, the show focuses again on the male gaze and dating men and getting that man and. So,
and marry, and you all when they all
and you are
35.
too old for this and too old for that, and you are not this kind of woman, and you're supposed to be this kind of woman, and everything is focused on the male gaze. So of course they're not gonna have depth.
Let's talk now about Carrie and Vic, because we skipped that, and they are the biggest relationship, the biggest mess here.
And then we have to talk about Charlotte and Carrie.
Yeah,
no,
they are the last.
And Samantha. The best ones.
So, Biggie is the worst.
Biggie.
Biggie. Can you see? He's the worst.
Oh my god.
He's the worst.
That man is trash. If trash was a person, it would be him. Like, I've never.
He plays Carrie.
He's so arrogant.
As he wants.
So
disgusting.
It's just, yes, he plays her and she lets him play her too. It's
and like, he how far of age they are? Like,
he seems older than her.
He seems older than her. We don't know how old he is, but he is too childish.
I mean, I think he was married before.
Yes.
Like he was divorced when she met her. And then they have this moment, and then he marries Natasha, who is 25 at the time, and he's way older.
50, 60.
So yes, like he's a guy that has a lot of experience in being messy.
Yes.
And he finds the perfect.
And he doesn't know what he wants either. He is here following Carrie. Carrie, I just want to talk to you. Calling her apartment. Calling her. He's stalking her.
Knowing she's in a relationship and he's married.
And he's calling her. I just want to go talk. And when they met, they made. He's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what do you want?
I don't know. I miss you.
What the fuck?
Absolutely not. Like, you're wasting her time, and she's letting you waste her time.
Because I don't know where she's going.
Why are you going?
He never said nothing. He called you and he's telling you, I don't know,
no clarity, nothing.
Nothing.
Just useless.
And you go. He didn't. Oh my god.
And then she meets Aiden, who is somebody that is very clear in his intentions. It comes to a point when he says, you know what, I want you to meet my parents. And she's like, oh, we're doing all these big steps that I expected from Big. And I wanted from Big, and I don't really want them from Aiden.
She didn't want them for Aiden because she didn't want him.
Exactly.
She wasn't in love with him.
Exactly. So if you see all these things...
Because with Biggie, she was... with Big, she was... all day, like, take half a picture of me in your house, half and she wanted to be in his face all the time.
She wanted to be his
face. She was insecure because he wasn't. When they walk on the street, he was looking to another woman, and she was like, "No, I want you to use at me and have a relationship with him." Mm-hmm. And she was actually never. They didn't date. They weren't girlfriend and boyfriend never.
That's the thing, because what do you love about this person? This is a man that he's self-absorbed, he's a narcissist. Well, I don't know if a narcissist, I'm not going to diagnose him, but he's definitely self-absorbed, he's arrogant, he's just a dick, a big dick. And I just don't know what is there to love about a man. But beyond that, we were talking about this the other day, I feel like Carrie finds some familiarity to Big. This emotional unavailability does something for her, that the Aiden being absolutely available emotionally and being there and being vulnerable and being open to the relationship did not make that for her. So there is a problem there that is her problem. Because why do you expect to change somebody that you clearly see has no interest on being in a monogamous relationship? You are trying to make this man turn into something he's not. And then you meet a man that is everything you want and is a no for you. And of course, not everybody is for you. Not everybody is for you.
Yeah, you don't have to be with a person just because he's a nice person.
Exactly, or he's the right person. Yes. No, if it's not, it's not. And she gets that.
They weren't meant together.
Exactly.
But right now, as she didn't do therapy, she did one day of therapy left. She needs to work in herself. If she did that work, she will be able to find someone she actually likes and is healthy, not a toxic person like Biggie.
Yeah, because it's just so especially the third season plays this out so perfectly, because you can see from the top of the season when she meets Aiden and they met randomly at his store, and she's like, "Oh, I'm attracted to this man." So there is a gut feeling she has towards him that is positive, but there's a duality, because she also has a very strong gut feeling telling her, I don't want to meet his parents. I actually don't want to have this idyllic relationship. There's this episode when she's like, you are too perfect. What is wrong with you? And he's like, let it flow. It is what it is. And she's like, no, you have to have something that is problematic so I can actually be hooked to this relationship. Otherwise, it's not it's not working.
It's the same that she always feel attracted to men that has some issue going in her life.
Yes,
in her life. Like one was alcoholic and he was dealing with that, and he told her, I'm not ready, but she was like, yeah, this is gonna work out. This is gonna work out. Don't worry, this is gonna work out. And when she started to see that he's getting obsessed, he's getting addicted to her, she said, you know what? Nah. Bye-bye. So, and then she go with another. No, I think that was the same man. What else? Who else she met?
She met Bon Jovi.
She met Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi was alcoholic? No.
No. He just met it for one night, and he was an emotionally unable person.
So basically,
after having sex,
it was done. It was over.
Yeah.
So yeah, she kind of fell into the bisexual boy.
This is
what the topic we are going to get into, the topic of. They touch on topics that are very relevant today and very much more accepted nowadays. That back in the early 2000s, it's so confusing in that episode.
Yeah, the episode they're confusing a lot of terms.
Gender with sexuality, with sexual orientation.
Yes.
And it's just an overall view of how an older generation, because she was constantly talking about this generation is like this other generation.
Yeah, she had a column talking freely about sexuality.
Exactly.
But then the time she met bisexual, that in her mind was something like liberal and socially extreme. She said, no, I can do this.
Yes. And it was a very interesting episode, because when she gets into a relationship, this boy, presumably, he's like in his 20s, because at the time she's in her 30s. And the episode starts and she's talking about, oh yes, I met this guy, he's amazing, like everything is perfect, the chemistry is perfect, basically. But the moment he's very open with the fact that he has had previous serious relationships, and one of them was men. And when he tells her that, she's like, "Oh man, bitch, hold on, because
I didn't know this information."
And she was like, and when she's talking with her friend, she's like, "Oh my god, he told me that like it was nothing," and it's like, wow. It's very interesting.
That she isn't really. She had a column and she doesn't really know.
Yeah, it's very
nothing.
interesting. How can you be a person that you make a living out of talking about sex, and you are so alienated from the idea of sex, from the diversity in sex, from the idea of gender? But we're talking about the early 2000s. So that's that. But also it's the fact that she's very judgmental. I was saying this before. She's so
she doesn't like to get judged, but she's really
she
judgmental.
Is judging everyone all
the
time.
The time that Miranda is facing her, because she's going back with Big. And she told her like, do whatever you want, girl, but I don't want to be there for you if you go back with him.
Yes.
And they have a big fight, and she told her that as well she's really judgmental, and that is why it didn't work out with Steve. And she feels bad, and
That's
goes
so crazy.
and talk with Steve and tell him it was my fault, and thank God she didn't come back.
I honestly would not want Carrie as my friend. Honestly, that girl is a mess.
She's too. I guess like she is literally the protagonist in Sex and the City, but she is like literally she didn't have any best day to broke with outing. ¿Cómo se llamaba? Aiden. That the wedding of Charlotte.
Yes.
She broke with him the day of the wedding of Charlotte.
Like, I feel like she always wants to have protagonists all the time.
All the time.
Like, this is the wedding of
thank God she didn't brought that up in the wedding. But she was like, even when they broke out, she was like, "Are you coming with me in the wedding?"
Like, are you serious?
Like, you just tell me, you cheat on me, and you want me to go with you in the wedding?
She's so aggravating.
She's mad. And he comes back to the wedding. And they see each other. And he's like, it's over. Don't let it get over.
Good for him, because she's a mess. So, yeah. What were we saying?
One episode that's really funny. That Miranda and Carrie, they're walking down. And they see them both.
Who?
They see their ex-boyfriends, Stefan. And they're sitting down and they're saying, "Oh, how you guys together?" They're like, they weren't paseando los perros. And de repente salen dos chicas. Y era una doblecita.
Yeah. Y entonces ahí... sorry. We're mixing.
You are mixing. So then was like, oh. So they get over us.
Yes. And that sting a little bit. They're so annoying. I really don't like them. They're the worst character for me. So let's move on to the best character.
Yes, Samantha. No?
No, let's start with Charlotte because Charlotte's the best one. So let's skip her to the end. Charlotte, she's our favorite, one of my favorites. Because
she was my favorite even starting to rewatch Sex and the City.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of things that I didn't remember, but she was my favorite.
She's like so funny. Her comedic timing is so good.
Yeah.
Because she always breaks the ice in conversation, even when they're sitting down and they're just talking about whatever, or judging her situations. It's very funny. But also, she's the more insightful friend. She's the one that actually, she deeply cares for them.
She invests more
and is very invested in invested in these friendships more than Carrie and Miranda, in my opinion. Carrie and Miranda, I feel like I don't remember how they met, but it clearly feels like Carrie and Miranda knew each other before. They were like best friends, and Charlotte and Samantha came in at some point, so you can really tell that that there's a division sometimes, and Carrie goes to certain friends to ask for certain advice. That it's not bad, but
because Carrie, I feel like Carrie, when in one episode she goes to tell Samantha that she's cheating, like
she told Samantha
having an
first.
affair with Biggie is not because she trusts her more.
Yes.
It's because she feels like, you are the least can judge me because you have a free sexual life. So you cannot judge me.
Exactly.
That is why she goes with her, not because she actually said, "You're my best friend." I'm gonna tell you.
She does expect judgment. She says, "Are you not gonna judge me?" And Samantha says, "That is not my thing. I don't do that." Because she knows Samantha is not gonna judge us in her subconscious mind. But it's also what you said, that she holds herself in a higher regard than Samantha because she sees Samantha as a whore, basically. So she's like, oh, I am in your level right now, but actually not. Like, no.
Solo estoy aquí de pasajera.
Yes, that's how I see that situation. But it's very interesting how
The word she wanted is Charlotte, because Charlotte is the reflect of what all the group wants.
Actually,
in a kind of sense.
Yes.
Because she wanted to marry. She ended in that situation. It didn't end up well.
Yes.
But it's an experience that
Charlotte actively pursues this goal of marriage and of the idyllic life as a wife. Yada yada yada.
And she cuts them. She cuts them, Biggie and her, going out for the hotel.
Yes.
So she was like, sad-eyed.
Bombastic.
Sad-eyed.
But yes, that what you say is true. Like, I think that some of them, especially Miranda and Carrie, laugh at Charlotte because they see that she's very naive. But at the same time, I feel like there is a certain level of you are openly being something that I don't actually.
It's not naturally my way to be.
Maybe not even naturally. Like, I'm scared to be that openly honest with myself and saying, you know what, I actually want to be, to actually find a husband, or actually, they always talk about this in a very bitter way, about marriage or about men or about, which I'm not saying is good or bad, it's just how each of them perceive the idea of womanhood, the idea of marriage, the idea of man.
And how that was also in that time.
Exactly.
Because they all feel really old.
Yes.
And they were just 35.
Exactly. That is crazy. That is crazy. And to this day, if you look online, everybody's saying no because
I'm not getting kids at 20. No one wants kids at 20 now. They don't want.
Yes, they don't want kids at 20, but people still uphold this thought of 30 is too old or 30 is old. People, you would see people talking about celebrities and saying, "Oh my God, how is she 30 and she looks so young?" It's like, what do you mean? 30 is very young.
Yeah.
50 is very young.
Yeah.
50 is only the half of your life.
Yeah.
How do you expect 30 to look like 80? I don't understand. But this is back to the male gaze, back to this pressure and these standards that society feeds into you, and it bleeds into media and it bleeds into our subconscious mind constantly. So of course there's going to be reflected in the way young girls, older girls see themselves and see their friends. So it's a very nuanced show. It peels some layers of these topics, and it's important because you can start conversations, and it did start conversations back in the early 2000s, and I think for generations to come it would still do. I mean, for us it's doing right now. We're just in our 20s right now, literally.
Yeah. I realized yesterday that the three, we are in our 20s.
Yeah.
On the start, you're in the middle, okay, and the left.
Yeah.
So
we were talking about some Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte. That we love Charlotte. I don't know if there's something else to say. Yes, of course.
Charlotte, and then her marriage. I want to talk about her marriage because
Okay.
one thing of Charlotte is that she pursues this idea of marriage, and she wanted what she saw in her husband. But she didn't actually. In all the relationships we see in sex and the cities, they project. Yeah. They're not actually in love. Unless in my opinion, they are not actually in love. Because she wanted to marry, and he was perfect for her to marry. Yeah. And he saw the same on her. But they then broke up because they simply no men together.
Exactly. So this talks about two different things. For one, the aspect of projection, what we're saying, all of them have this necessity to live up to these standards.
And also what for you is loving. Because for some people, that will be enough.
Yes.
But for her, it wasn't. Yeah. And they ended divorce.
That's the thing. You have to really, really... Of course, you won't get to a point in life, I don't know, we're still very young, but you won't get in a point in your life where you are completely ready to be in a relationship. Like, this is the fucking time. I am absolutely perfectly well, mentally, physically, economically. Of course. It will be idyllic, yes. But it's not always the case.
It's a lot of people that marry. I realized yesterday, especially for a TikTok I saw, that girl was saying like, I don't understand why the person I marry, the person I fuck, it has to be the person it goes in when, if I got in a car crash and I'm in La UCI, it has to be the person in the room and not my best friend. And that's the thing, that there are a lot of people that marry a person, but the person of their life, the person more important in their life, is a friend.
Yes, because this reminds me of, I don't remember who was saying this, but sometimes your soulmate is not your partner. Sometimes your soulmate is a friend. Sometimes it could be a family member too. Soulmate is not necessarily romantic. It's just someone in your life. I'm not going to get very specific because I don't remember the term. Because there are soulmates, there are twin flames, there are different concepts that I'm not going to get into deep because I don't...
Not going to study that all the day for another podcast.
Yes, for another episode. Samantha, the best one.
The best one of the group. And she's really funny. And then I like the interaction of all the four. Because you can really see... There are people like Carrie in real life. There are people like Miranda, Charlotte. They all are personalities or characteristics that can be in everyone. So I think the interactions of everyone, we can see them more conservative and more openly, like of Charlotte.
Yes.
Samantha, open with her sexuality. He doesn't have any kind of shame. Miranda and the other two, they are open at the same time, but they do have some shame, especially Carrie.
Yes, Carrie has a lot of issues.
A shame of being free of her sexuality, even.
Yes.
She is.
And Miranda has a struggle with her femininity. Because I remember this episode where when she argues a lot with Steve, and Steve says, I feel like you're the man sometimes in the relationship. And she takes a dancing class, because that is what's feminine. The idea of femininity is you flow and you just... And it opens a conversation of what is femininity. How does it look like? Because you have to
I don't think Carrie is not feminine. I think Carrie?
Miranda.
I don't think she's not feminine. I think there are a lot of ways to be feminine.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. There are a lot of ways to be feminine. There is just not one way. And she goes dancing and she's like, this is not for me. Of course it's not for you. You have to find what is for you as a woman that lets you dive into your femininity. And that is something the episode doesn't really investigate. It just there, like. Every episode you can only get so much because the episodes are very brief.
Yeah, I like 30 minutes, and I think it's great.
I think it's good actually. So it's good that it opens these conversations, and now we can talk about them. At the time, I don't know if they stopped and thought, oh, you actually have individuality. You actually are your own person. You don't have to be like the next woman because you are who you are. But I think Samantha actually embodies that. Samantha embodies the idea of, you know what, I'm unapologetically who I am. I'm a free...
If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it...
If you don't like it, that's your problem. It's not mine. And I think that is the element that she brings to the friendship, to the group. She's just very aligned with herself, and she doesn't question that. And the other ones, to some level, they do constantly. So...
one thing I was about to say about Charlotte. I remember now. That we said before that relationships, there are a lot of ways that people can understand what is love. The people that marry because they are in love, they love each other. The people that marry because they feel like it's convenience, like it's time, like they see in some this whatever. And I remember I saw a video of a couple that were matrimonio pactado. Arranged marriage.
Yes.
Arranged marriage, and they were saying, I don't know if in that specific history they end up falling in love with each other, but that worked for them. They were in like 20 years together, and that marriage worked for them.
Yes.
So that some people look for things that work for them. If that worked for them, that is fine. That a way to love, or a way to express love for another person.
Yes, but that is the good thing. It would be to actually come to the understanding with that person. Like, this is what I expect from love. This is what I expect from a relationship. And of course, we're humans. We're constantly fluctuating. But monogamy, actually, I do feel like I'm a monogamous person. But I think that questioning things is never really wrong. Questioning your perception of life, your perception of relationships, your perceptions, it will only keep you updated with yourself. Oh, is this what I believe? Is this what I still believe to this day, or do I actually believe this now? Do I actually want to be in this relationship at this point in my life?
There is for people that may were having polygamy. Polygamy? No.
¿Es polygamy?
No,
Poliamory.
Relaciones poliamorosas, no busca cómo se dice. Because there are people that you may find something interesting in one person, another, some attraction in more than just one person. If that works for you, that's also fine. But I feel, there are different ways to love.
Yeah.
And there are different ways that people understand as love. There are people that seek love for touching, seek love for attention, for those things for them, for receiving.
Yes, different ways of receiving love and
yes.
giving love.
Yes.
Yes. I think we're living in a time when people are receptive to this, to understanding themselves in that sense, to understanding what they need from love, what they want from love. And I think it's very interesting that shows like this have actually opened the door for this sort of conversations, actually. Because I think Samantha at some point, I'm sure there is a point where she has a polyamorous relationship in the show.
Like, we are mostly commenting season 1 and 2 and 3 a little bit. Yeah. We're gonna keep up watching.
Yes, we'll continue and then we'll talk about it because we really love the show.
Well, I think we said all the characters.
Yeah, we talked about all of them. We love Samantha. She's great. I think she's the most layered character and the character that has more development, in my opinion. Like,
we keep watching. And the one that remember less, because I was young. How was I when?
I don't know. When did you watch it?
Maybe I was 12 when it came out.
What? No, impossible. You were a child. No, you were not even born. It came out in 1998 or something like that.
Oh, when was I when?
Exactly, 1998.
So how when was I?
If you saw it maybe 2 years ago.
No.
3 years ago. I remember seeing it. Maybe I was 16 or 17.
I remember seeing it when I was in primary school. Even high school.
That is so scary.
Let me search. It wasn't the TV.
On TV.
On TV, no online.
Maybe it was like an episode that were airing.
Yes. It's like Friends. Friends actually was well, let me search. The first emission was in 2004. In HBO.
Oh. No, 1998.
whatever. I was 12, 14, starting high school when I first start to see sex in New York. Teenager.
Same. And I remember that at the time, it was such a show that people talked about in a disregarding way, that they were like, oh, Sex and the City, that's a show for old women. And now that I'm in 20s and I'm watching it, they're only 30. And we get to ageism with that. Mm-hmm. Because how can it be that if this show aired in the late 90s, early 2000s, and we're talking about the perception of age in women at the time, it clearly was like a very dramatic environment to be in your 30s. Like, because you felt that you were writing at the time. Constantly, media was bombarding you with these messages. Because even this show, being a show that is more progressive in that sense, they sell the idea of being progressive because it's challenging the idea of women aging and what they're supposed to do at a certain age. Marry, have children, you're in your 30s, come on. Mm-hmm. So it's supposed to be a progressive show, but it's really... I feel like it lays out this problem. Mm-hmm. Yes, so it is progressive in that sense.
Yes.
It puts it on the table and says, this is the conversation that we're having. Mm-hmm. Women are worried about this. Why are they worried about this? Media is feeding us this idea. Mm-hmm. So it questions things and it kind of leaves it there. I don't know why I have an accent now. It leaves it there. So we can pick them up now and talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Next episode, we're gonna talk about cheating. Because we didn't talk about actually the big theme in this situation that was Natasha.
Yes. Let's talk about next episode will be more structured. We will focus on like an actual topic.
Yes.
And get into it because this one
and an actual episode, some episode in interest, because that is the thing of Sex at the City. Yes. There are a lot of episodes that are actually interesting.
Yes.
The topic specifically.
Yes. So stay tuned because we will get less chaotic. We'll have more chaos, but it will be a bit more structured.
Yeah.
So
see you soon.
I hope you liked it.
Love you guys. Kisses from
us.
Love you, sweethearts. Goodbye. Mwah.
Mwah.